For those who've come across the sea is a line from our national anthem. And for me, it was about talking to people in Australia who have come across the sea, because we're in post-colonial Australia. You know, we came here from England and colonized Australia. And then ever since then, we've had this kind of complicated history to the sea. So we came here, we immigrated here, and then we then decided we'd like to control who was able to come here. So we had the White Australia policy, and at the moment our current issue seems to be with refugees. We're still trying to determine who's allowed to come here and in what manner they come here. So I was speaking to our past, but also to our present state. And yeah, I was investigating this idea that Australia has of the sea. We have like a conflicted relationship. We both love the sea and are troubled by it. The title of the series is called Social Medium. And when I heard that, I was thinking about separating the two parts. So I had this idea of a spiritual medium, you know, a shaman or a priest, and also that idea of social change. And for me, Boys is the artist that embodies that best. The idea of, he came in as this sort of shaman with his very loaded materials, his fat, his felt, and he was working in post-Nazi Germany, kind of trying to address this shared social history that he was afraid was being kind of swept under the rug. It wasn't being dealt with, it was being hidden. And so a lot of his work was about exposing wounds, sort of viewing them so that healing could actually start to happen. And the work that directly my work is in dialogue with is his work where he went to America. I like America and America likes me. Where he came in and from the airport he was carried to the gallery in an ambulance. And when he got to the gallery, he was in a confined space with a coyote. And so the idea that I understand from this work is that Boys came to America as kind of an intercessor. He was there to open up a dialogue with their post-colonial history. And so this coyote kind of embodied the indigenous population of America, and he was there to kind of open up this dialogue, show some of these wounds, allow for some of this healing to happen. And so that was partly what inspired me to do my work, was to come in and say, so what I want to do is I want to take these very loaded materials, I want to take the sea, I want to get fire and salt. So these are all very common elements in purification rituals. So, you know, Christianity has its baptisms, and Shinto religion has salt throwing, and Zoroastrians have fire and water as very significant elements in their rituals. And so what I was trying to do was bring in this material, salt water, that we have our troubled relationship with, and in a sense purify it. Take something that's toxic for us to drink and separate it into these sort of more pure, more efficacious materials. So pure water and pure salt, and you know, through the cleansing fire. And so for me, my understanding of alchemy that I work with is the exoteric understanding of alchemy is the idea of changing a material from a base material like lead into a higher material like gold. And I understand that as a kind of metaphor for an esoteric practice of alchemy, which is a spiritual thing that happens within a person. We go from being a base kind of person who's like dominated by our urges, and we attempt to be transformed through the process of alchemy to a higher kind of state or plane or whatever. And so while there's a social element and like a broader element in my work, there's always also a very personal element. And so that's how I kind of engage with the alchemical sort of ideas that were running through my work as well. I always question what actual chance there is of art acting outside of its own little world to change the things going on outside. So like I really like Boys a lot. I like the way that he worked, and but I always questioned, what was his kind of goal ever affected outside of the art world, and will my kind of statements ever go outside of the art world? So it was really interesting to work there. I'm not sure I necessarily worry about if I changed anyone's mind. Like if people encountered it and no one's mind was changed, that's not really the point still. The point is just to have that message go out.